I'm not Black American. A lot of people, when they see me, they think I'm Black American. Akata. Kambaku Nishi. Awo Makata. Awo Makata. Awo Makata. I'm from Abia State.
So I know y'all like to claim that Akata is not a derogatory term for Black Americans or whatever. And y'all like to say that it's a term that you use for Black Americans because, you know, they don't have any ties to the motherland. Okay, cool. So I want to know, what is the term that y'all have for Jamaicans, Haitians, Brazilians, Dominicans? What's the term y'all have for them? Because, you know, there are Black people that were also, you know, enslaved and stripped of their roots. What's the term y'all have for them? If y'all have a kata for Black Americans, surely you have a term for Black people everywhere else, right? And don't say you don't, because why you single out Black Americans? That doesn't make sense. What's the term for them? Please let me know.
Y'all want to get up on this internet, Black Americans, and be like, oh, Labor Day is not about Caribbean people. This is our country. Go back to your country. This has to be race bait, by the way. Y'all need to keep that same energy for the palm colored people and the other races that are coming to take over. And you're not going to have anywhere to lay your head. You're worried about the wrong thing. You talking about this is our country. Your president begs to differ. He doesn't even want you in the country. Don't even care that you were born here, babe. If it was up to him, you'll be cotton. Be so for real. Y'all just fall into the trap every time. Like, at the end of the day, we all Black. This is our country. Y'all want to stand on business for the wrong things. Y'all can't even stand together and hold down a community. Please. But y'all want to come at the Caribbean cultures. It's giving bored. It's giving miserable. It's giving we don't mind y'all business because we don't give a It's giving, I hate it for y'all, the conditioning, the brainwashing. It continues to reveal itself the more they give y'all these phones to open y'all mouth and talk nonsense. Y'all sound ignorant. Y'all sound uneducated. Y'all sound like y'all looking for validation to feel accepted by the others. And guess what? You're still a nobody. So you could say the oh, where's ICE? This is our country. Da-da-da-da. We don't want to hear that Caribbean music. I fear that without our seasoning to the American pot, this country will be nothing. But okay, y'all will want to argue. Y'all problem is y'all always want to argue and fight the wrong people. Fight the system that's currently beating your ass. How about that?
And this is the last thing I'm going to say about the diaspora wars, because again, I'm not arguing facts with opinions. A lot of Americans feel like they look nothing like Africans because they're American. Now let's just look at the facts. What exactly does it mean to look American? Because the last time I checked, Americans were Native American. So that is what Americans look like. That's what it is, right? Because they are native to this land. Where exactly did Black American slaves come from? Where were they taken from? Oh, Nigeria, Ghana, and Congo? Okay, so now when they came to America and they were enslaved and they were forced to have babies, they were having babies with other slaves that also came from Africa. Dark skin, broad nose, full lips. That's what Africans look like. Now, the argument usually is we don't look nothing like Africans because we have mixed ancestry, which is a fact. An average African American does have some white ancestry, and that usually ranges between 10 to 40%, sometimes more. So do you guys want to say that y'all look more European? Is that what y'all want to say? Instead of looking African, do y'all want us to say that y'all look European? Because that would mean in your ancestry, right? Because you guys are mixed, you have white and you have Black. You have European and you have African. So what you guys really want to say is we don't look like Africans, we look European, because that's the mixed ancestry that you lot are talking about. I'm going to reiterate: brown skin, curly hair, broad nose, full lips, African people. Do Black Americans not have full lips and broad nose and brown skin? Just say what you guys really want to say. Like that's the problem. Like, y'all want to argue facts with opinions. Just because you feel like we don't look the same does not mean that we do not. And again, if you try to argue with me because of your opinion and not with actual facts that refute the fact that we all come from Africa and we look African, you're going to be blocked or the comment will be deleted. Stop arguing facts with opinions.
See, this is what I mean when I say infiltrated, okay? LA, like all of California and New York, were infiltrated areas for Black people, okay? I'm from St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis was not infiltrated. Black people are allowed to be Black people in their fullness. Like, you look at black people, you see black people, you know other black Americans exist. You're able to be a black American in your fullness. In LA, black Americans are not able to be black Americans in their fullness because they got, this person from her. They always got to consider their brown brothers and sisters, which doesn't exist. And then they were infiltrated with all those foreign, you know what I'm saying, like just random, like you got Indian people, Asian people, all these random ass communities of people that have nothing to do, where you always, even when you want to selfishly just be fully immersed in your own culture, you're not able to, because all these other cultures are here. And it's like, damn, they in the schools, they everywhere. So those areas, LA can't be an area where a black American sees themselves in full and can thrive in full separation, even though those are all areas are segregated. All areas are segregated, regardless of what y'all want to believe, what they want to tell y'all. All areas are still segregated to this day, but they're not able to be segregated because they have infiltrated areas that would naturally be black areas where they would be able to thrive. They would be able to change voting systems and change this and change that. But because the areas are infiltrated, and you have all these people, think about like New York in a sense, you know what I'm saying? I live in New York City. So like when you think about New York, it makes no sense that like the buildings look the way that they do. That like, I feel like 60 years ago with black Americans here, black Americans would have been able to stand firm on like every building being a luxury building. Why can't every building in New York City look amazing? Why not? Like, and I feel like everybody would be okay with that. But then you infiltrate some immigrant people here, and they're like, oh, wow, this is perfectly fine. This is better than, I've ever seen. When you keep and that's the thing, see, people are brainwashed into believing that, like, this different caste system of people exist in New York City and exist in these, like, urban development areas where it's like, oh, it's like, everybody, little melting pot or whatever. And it's like, no, it's not different, tax bracket people like that. It's different cast of people in like first world, second world, third world, fourth world. It's like that. So therefore it can never be a clear conciseness of like, okay, this is a good building, this is good business, like a business structure, or this is like you're handling business properly, because all of these different type of people from different backgrounds and different structure are all in the same area saying like, oh, this is perfectly fine. And it's always going to be a person who is sent to infiltrate, to throw off like the reality of it. And most importantly, voting, okay? It makes no sense that like New York City is a place that's unlivable. New York City is currently almost unlivable for the average, price person who just wants to live their life like maybe 1 or 2 years without, grinding full throttle. You know what I'm saying? If you just wanted to live your life, it's practically impossible, because you have immigrants who are here voting on politics they know nothing about, participating in politics which they know nothing about, okay? Just because you can read does not mean that you will ever be able to understand politics in a nation that is not your origin, okay? It like really makes no sense. It makes no sense. It makes no sense at all. And mind you, I love my melanated people all across the whole entire world. If you're a melanated, I love you. You know what I'm saying? But realistically, you know what I'm saying, we just have to know that all this shit is on purpose, okay? It's so many things in the world, in America, that could be so much better, but because of people who are immigrants that country hop, there is never and never ever and ever never ever going to be a valid reason to country hop, okay? Now, I understand, to a few countries, you know what I'm saying, where wars happen and stuff like that. Okay, we get it, but I don't know. Don't people want to go back? I just don't. There's never a valid reason. And mind you, why would you go to the country where like that probably had everything to do with it? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have like free travel access. You were not saved. There's no saving that happens. And America ain't saving nobody. So you were not saved. Country hopping is where if your parent or somebody said, oh, they came here for work, they could have did the work in that country. None of this is logical or like practical in the bigger picture, okay? In the bigger picture of everything, and like things being right in your countries, things being right in my country, in the bigger picture of everything, none of this makes sense. Country hopping don't make sense, okay? But everybody's here, all of y'all here, and nobody, when I say nobody, is working to dismantle white delusion. And white delusion is white supremacy. So if you're not working in favor, you got your immigrant asses here. You know what I'm saying? You done came here for God knows what reason. And there's never a valid reason to country hop. But you still are not working to dismantle white delusion. That is criminal.
Like I keep saying, the amount of disrespect that we as Black Americans keep receiving from other folks directly out there. And like I said before, we got problems with people who want to be the loudest directly out there amongst their groups to try to represent their group and to try to speak, I guess you could say, for the totality of the group, right? Or the general consensus. And you got the first dude with the glasses. I'm not sure what type of hairline that even is. Like, that's just looking crazy. Somebody was just doing way too much. I'm not sure what was happening. And this is what I'm talking about again. We have a lot of these folks who keep saying that they're not Black American. They're not the children of slaves and all this other type of stuff. But yet, what are you doing with your hair? That's not a normal African hairstyle. Y'all don't normally have hairstyles like that. Y'all don't do lineups and shape ups over there in Africa. Like, that's not even a thing. Like, even if we go to waves and different things, different design, that's not stuff that y'all do, especially when it deals with the guys. Especially when it deals with the guys. Y'all not into a lot of that stuff. Y'all not creative. Y'all not sitting up here trying to be artistic and do, like, come on, bro. And then on top of that, you got this. I'm not a kind of this, that, and the third. I'm not Black American. I got to say it so many times to let y'all really know. Then why are you here? Why are you even speaking English? Just to be real, because Black Americans over here, like, you know, we speak English. Like, that is our first language. Like, that's just here. You're from Africa, so you should be speaking an African language realistically. And again, your hairline should be that of an African. Right? The whole hairstyle, that of an African. Everything that you're wearing, it should be that from over there in Africa, but it's not. Your stylings, everything that you got, even how it is that you want to try to present yourself directly online. You make sure that you can match in and masquerade so that you can do the things that you want to do or get away with the things that you want to get away directly with. But when it comes time for you to actually be who it is that you're supposed to be, oh, now you want to sit up there and rep your flag. Now you want to show people how proud you are of your culture and all these other things, but yet you're never that proud when you're within the Black community, when you're around the Black community. Like I said before, I've been waiting for a lot of these Africans and whatnot to just start waving their flag. Like, every time I see, like, the Arabs, like, you know, you think about, like, Dearborn, Michigan and stuff like that, they got their flags out there. You know who it is that they are culturally. You know who those folks are as soon as you sit up there and see them. When it deals with these Africans, you don't see that. They don't got that same energy, right? So like I said, when I talk about a person having pride of their group, of their culture, I look at those that's up there in Dearborn, Michigan. I look at the Muslims up there, right? I look at all of those folks up there where you can see a lot of them, including the kids, in natural wares, garbs, and stuff of that nature, speaking a language, right? But when you look at these Africans, they ain't doing that, though. But they talking about they proud, though. They talking about that they running stuff around here. So they say, you know, online that they're going to, you know, take over America by 2063. And, you know, they're the most, you know, knowledgeable, and they got the most college degrees. They're the smartest, you know, directly out of the United States, or however it is that they want to sit up there and put it. You know, like I said before, it's drastically crazy how people want to speak and be disrespectful. And again, the only reason that you're here, that you're able to thrive and survive, is because we were here first, because we started this. Like how y'all keep saying that, oh, Africans, we are the you know, we're the cradle of the civilization and this, that, and the third. Well, we're the cradle for all the rest of you immigrants. How about that one? In order for y'all to thrive and survive directly here as you are at this current moment in time, as comfortable as you are at this moment in time, you can chalk that up to Black Americans. We made it possible for you to be able to thrive and survive. We made it possible for you to be able to have a business, family-owned business at that, to own several businesses at that, to be able to raise your kids without somebody coming and knocking on your door, dragging them directly out, tearing apart your family. Like I said, the amount of disrespect and how disrespectful a lot of you folks are is crazy. But this is why I love the internet, because everything is going to be cataloged. So the moment in time that you think that we forgot, oh no, we're going to be putting up that footage. And then when it deals with I'm guessing she's an African woman, by the way, that she's sitting up here talking. She's like, how do you think that you guys got there? What do you think that you guys is from? I'm like, y'all do realize that all the information that y'all pulling from is literally from Europeans, from white people. And you're dealing with science. And at this moment in time, the one thing, and because a person that I am, I love science. The one thing that I learned and understand is that science is not finite. One moment, you'll learn something about space, and then the next thing, it's completely different, 20 different ways. But it's like when you deal with these types of folks directly out there, that's not what they're looking at. They're not looking at all of the information that we received when it dealt with the DNA data and how it is that a lot of that stuff was either stolen, falsified, or how it is that you want to, put it. Again, we got the stories out there with 23andMe. We got the other stories out there where data was specifically stolen so that they can target specific groups and all these other types of things and whatnot, whatever. There were some videos out there, take it with a grain of salt, where people took the saliva from their pets and they sent it directly in, and they got results that stating that they were from these regions around the world. I'm like, that don't make no type of sense, knowing the fact that it is, and that, well, at least we know the fact that it's an animal, and they were able to get pretty much the same thing that normal people get. That doesn't make any type of sense at all. That's completely crazy. But like I said before, the obsession that a lot of folks have with trying to tell Black Americans who it is that they are, it's a little bit ridiculous. Well, actually, it's beyond ridiculous at this moment in time. And it's crazy how y'all want to fight so hard. Y'all really going and attacking Black Americans. Like, no, you guys got to understand. You're African, you're African, you're African, you're African. I'm like, why y'all trying to really hammer that to us? We're like, Africa's the cradle of civilization, right? Why are you guys not going after white folks? Why y'all not going after the Asians, the Arabs, and the many others directly out there? Y'all not going after the Jamaicans, Haitians, and everybody. Like, y'all not going after no other group. You are specifically, all of y'all are specifically targeting Black Americans. And like I said before, that's weird. So at one moment, we got white folks out here sitting up here saying that black people, y'all can just go back to Africa, right? Just keep throwing that directly in there. And now we got the Africans sitting up here saying, oh, come back home. You guys are African. I'm like, yeah, nah, something ain't jiving. Something is not making no type of sense, but it's making sense at the same time. Because we have two opposites both saying the exact same thing. Nah, son. Something's up. Because like I said before, all of these Africans that want to sit up there and try to tell Black Americans that, oh, you're African, you just don't know who it is that you are, come back home, we can teach you, learn, and understand who it is that you are, and rah, all this. Where were y'all 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100 years ago, right? My grandmother, before she was passed, what was she, about like 83, 84? Where were y'all at for those 83 to 84 years? Where were y'all at continuously telling us that we're African? Y'all were nowhere to be seen. Y'all were nowhere to be found. Y'all were just over there in Africa doing whatever it is that y'all normally do in Africa. So like I said, who is paying all of y'all to do this type of mobilization, this type of attack directly on Black Americans? Because like I said, all of a sudden, this is the thing that's been happening. And it makes no sense. And it leads me to think that somebody is really profiting heavy directly off of this. I'm not sure if it's those nations specifically, because again, we've been seeing a heightened, I'm not going to say resurgence, but we've seen heightened interest when it deals with these celebrities magically going over to Africa, especially during the pandemic. You had all of these Black celebrities going over there to Africa and doing all this other stuff. I'm like, yeah, that had to be like a money play. It had to be. It had to be some type of money play. They got like a couple, hundred thousands, maybe like a few millions to go directly over there, take some pictures, snap, and then fly directly back. Because I have not seen none of those celebrities back over there. Like I said, all of these celebrities claiming that they're this, that, and the third. Okay, so if that is who you are, you're trying to make that connection. Shouldn't you actually be there? Shouldn't you be staying there for, you know, as long time possible to regain the connection, to get those things there? You shouldn't be just visiting there for a connection. Like I said before, this is how you know that you're being played. When you don't see not nearly one of these rich multimillionaire celebrities going over there to live over there in Africa. They're not just strictly, oh, I'm about to just uproot, move all of my kids and my family, take all the niceties away from them, from the United States, and we're going over to a whole new, brand new, strange foreign land we know 100% of nothing about, and we're going to live there, thrive, and survive. You don't see them doing that because they're not about to do it. But like I said before, this is why when it deals with Black Americans, we got to be very careful. This is why you don't follow celebrities. This is why you don't, what they normally say, you don't idolize false idols. You don't worship false idols. I'm sorry. Again, I'm, you know, getting over, you know, being sick. But like I said, this is just, it's crazy. 100%. 100%. I'm just tired. Not physically. Not physically. I'm just tired of like the whole disrespect from a lot of these other groups directly out here. I'm just very much tired of it. But you know, before I go, I want to say, you know, much love, respect, and appreciation to all of those who well, that's if y'all make it to this part of the video, but much love, respect, and appreciation to all of you guys who were, you know, hoping for me to, you know, get well and everything like that. Much love. Thank you guys for that. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comment description below. And as always, peace, love, and stay tuned for the next video.